Welcome back. In this section, we will learn about how to send a post request using Axios. We'll send a post request to our JSON server to create a new to-do item. So to send a post request, let's just go back to API handler and create a new function and call it post to-do item, and it will receive an item. This will be the base URL, and slash to dos will be used to send a to do item. Now instead of get, we will use post. And for post request, we need to provide the object that we want to post along with the URL. So we will also pass the item here. We'll await for the response and we'll return response.data. So just remove the console logs. Okay, so we'll use this post to do item. So let's just go back, and inside our application, we have a to do app, and inside to do app, whenever the new to do item is added, we create the to do item. So instead of adding this item to the state, I'll comment this out, and I'll I'll call this function and pass the item. So let's just import this. Import post to do item from dot slash API handler. So now whenever add to do item function is called, it will send a to do item to the backend API and it will add the to do item. Now I'll click save and open the browser window where our application is running. Let's open the console and dock it at the bottom so that we can see whatever is happening in case after we send the request. So if you go to this network tab, we will see all the network requests that are being received or that are being sent. So let's add posted item, and if I click submit, you'll see that on console we have this to do item and the ID of the item is 6 and it is added as a completed item. Now if we close this, here on the UI we have only 4 items. This is because we fetched the items before adding the new item. So now if I'll reload the application, we should have total of 5 elements here. So I've reloaded it, and now the newly created item, posted item, is added, and it is added as a completed item. Now if I click reload, no matter how many number of times this is getting the data from that JSON file, so these to-do items are persisted. So we can create new to-do items. Let's call it React to do. I'll submit it, and similarly, the item is posted, but we are not displaying it on the screen because we fed the item before adding a new item. So if I'll click reload, then the new item will be displayed. So if I'll inspect and go to the console, just clear the logs, refresh it. Here you can see that the new item is not added here. So for that, I'll just try to add it again. React item, I'll click submit, and the item is set inside the network tab. If you view it, we have this to dos and we are getting an error, and the error is insert field duplicate ID. So we need to update the ID because currently we are using the IDs from this to-do list, which was hard coded, and we are setting the ID based on this list. So to set the ID, we can just simply remove this and can create to-do items. It will automatically assign the IDs to the new to-do items. Now if I click reload and I'll create a new React item, submit, it should have created the item. I click reload, the item is added here. So if you don't provide the ID is automatically added by the JSON server. So I can create any number of the new items that I want, and those items will be persisted. Test item, submit. If I click reload, this will be already added. If we go inside our JSON file through which we are running our JSON server, you can see that this file is being updated and new items are being added into this file, and it is automatically assigning the ID. So if I remove this newly added items, let's just remove last two items and hit save. Now if we get the data, we'll get only 5 items. So let's just fix the error, and whenever the item is posted, let's just wait for it. It will return the created item. So let item is equals to post item, await post item. So let's just fetch the items and set the initial state here. So instead of fetching the items from the backend and setting it inside the to-do list, let's just copy this piece of code. I'll cut it from here and we'll paste it inside to-do app. So inside to-do app, we will get the data. We already have this to-do items here, so we don't need this data. I'll set the initial state of the to-do items to an empty array. Uh, I can just comment this out. And now if we go inside this get data function, I'll just need to fix the indentation. Inside the use effect, we are calling get data. Once we have the data, we are setting instead of setting data instead of setting the data, now we need to set to-do items. So once we set the to-do items, here we will pass the to-do items, and whenever we have a new to-do item, we need to add the to-do item to our state. And this way, the newly added item will be reflected on the screen also. And inside the to-do list, let's just change it back to props dot to-do items. Okay, now if I hit save and go back to the browser window, we are getting an error, get to do item is not defined and use effect is not defined. So we need to import this get to do item and use effect. So I'll import use effect and this get to do item. Now if I hit save and go back to the browser window, we are getting a different error which is saying that identify item has already been declared. So we have declared this here. So we need to change this to created item. Okay, now if I hit save and go back to the browser window, you can see that our app is running. And now I create a new to-do item. Let's call it React. I'll hit submit. The new item is being added here. And if I refresh the app, the data is being persisted. In next video, we will learn about Axios interceptors. Thank you for watching.